Would do you recall? Can you recall? Parallel venation, and the first one is reticulate venation. Okay,
Yes.
reticulate venation. Anyways, then if you were to look, midrib is the main vein in a leaf. Midrib is the main vein inside in the leaf. Lamina is basically this surface into which all the parts of the leaves are there. That is called as lamina. I did also told you about a very important phenomena, that is how dew drops are formed. So transpiration has got a very important role in the formation of dew drops as well. Another thing I told that I will be telling in this class, that transpiration, just like sweating helps to cool down our body, in the same manner, transpiration helps to cool down the body of the plant as well. So during the summer season, when the temperature is very high, so you will see that if the plants are not being watered properly, they will be dried up and they will ultimately die. Right now. So transpiration, the role of transpiration here is that it helps in cooling down the plant's body as well, so that it does not dry up and it does not die. So have you guys observed that if you go to play some sports, so you are very sweaty in the summer season especially, and when you sit under a fan or when you sit in the air conditioner, suddenly you start to feel very cold. Huh? So why is it so? Because the sweating carries away the heat from your body. Once the sweat over your skin evaporates, it also takes away the heat from your body, from the skin. That's why we feel cool when we sit under the fan after playing or after some physical activity. Getting it, both of you? So in the same manner, when these water vapors evaporates from the surface of the leaves, from the surface of uh, stems of some plants, so hence they are actually taking away the heat as well. So transpiration has got this role also. Another important role played by transpiration is that it acts as a suction pull inside the body of the plant. What do I mean to say? Before I describe this, now you guys need to understand one another important phenomena. For example, let's say I have taken two bottles like this, and we will be connecting these two bottles. We have connected these two bottles, and in this you have put this much of water, and in this you have put only this much of water. Now you guys tell me from where water will be flowing, from bottle A to B or from B to A?
Sir,
Hmm.
to A,
From A to B or B to A?
B to A.
B to A. So you are saying the water will flow from bottle B to A, from the bottle where the level of where the volume of water is less, and it will flow into that bottle in which volume of water is more.
Yes, sir.
So you are basically saying that after some time what will happen, that this bottle will be completely full. Huh?
Yes.
What about you, Abu? Is it true what Priyanka is saying?
Yes.
No, it is actually the opposite now. It is actually the opposite. The common phenomena you will be observing here, that water will be actually moving from bottle A towards B. Water will move to from bottle A towards bottle B. Why is it so? Because the concentration or the volume of the water in bottle A is more. Hence, it will flow towards bottle B, because here the concentration is less. Hmm. So the phenomena here is that water moves from a high concentrate high concentration towards low concentration. This means concentration. In short, I have written concentration. Okay, now. So water is moving from an area of high concentration towards low concentration. So this, if you do this activity, this will prove that anything moves from an area of high concentration towards low concentration. An area where there is abundance of that thing to an area where there is deficiency of that thing. There's a lesser amount of that thing. Are you guys getting this? You guys
Yes, sir.
getting this or not? Okay. Now consider the plant. Or you guys can have this example, have another example also. Like in our house, we have the water tank. Say that this is the 1000 liter water tank. So what you find that water always flows from this tank towards the tap. It will always flow towards the tap. Will water flow in the backward direction?
No, sir.
Obviously no. Because what you see, because of the high availability of water in this water tank, there is a high concentration of water in this tank. While here towards the tap, there is no water, right now. Hence,
Yes,
water will start flowing from this tank in this direction. So anything moves from an area of high concentration to an area of low concentration. Now consider the example of the plant. You have a plant here. Consider that this represents a plant and these are the roots of the plants. So you have provided water, you have provided fertilizers, you have provided manures. So what fertilizers and manures do? They provide different type of nutrients to the soil and hence it is taken by the roots. So basically what happens, the roots of the plants, they will be absorbing the water and nutrients. Okay. And it will go up in the upward direction, right? So plants will be taking it in the upward direction. So what you find out, consider this leaf here. So in the leaves, there is a requirement of water. It needs water and it needs nutrients. Now you guys tell me this very basic question, that where the concentration of water and nutrient more? Is it in the leaves or is it in the soil?
soil.
Soil, obviously. Isn't it, Abu? It is in soil. So due to the pressure difference here, what you will find out, due to the pressure difference also, the water and the nutrients will be moving towards, moving from the soil via the roots and the stems towards the leaves. Then also you will say that it is moving against the gravity now. Normally anything comes down towards the earth now, but it is moving in the upward direction. Getting it, guys, what I'm trying to say?
Yes, sir.
It is moving against the force of gravity. So it is moving against the force of gravity because a suction pull is happening here. A suction pull is playing a very important role here. Suction force, a suction force is basically a pulling force. You suck something out of something. So that means you are applying a suction force here. So what happens, due to the transpiration, water is continuously being lost from the leaves and from the green stems of some plants as well. So due to this, a kind of pulling force is generated due to transpiration. Let me repeat, I'm saying that due to the continuous evaporation of water from the surfaces of the leaves and stems, a suction force is created, which pulls the water and nutrients from the roots towards the leaves and other parts of the plants. Are you guys getting it?
Yes, sir.
Hmm? Abu, did you got it?
Yes, sir.
Good. So question is, what is the role of transpiration? So what are the different roles of transpiration we have studied so far? Yes, Priyanka. What have we studied?
Sir.
Hmm. What are the different roles that is being played by this transpiration? First thing is that if you observed, we have studied that process of photosynthesis requires water also, and water can reach towards the leaves only due to transpiration.
Yes, sir.
Are you guys able to connect the link? How transpiration is actually important for photosynthesis also? Huh? So first thing is that it is due to transpiration that water reaches the surface of the leaves. Is my screen hanging? Is it lagging?
No, sir.
Okay. So transpiration helps in photosynthesis. The reason you guys know it pulls the water. Also, is transpiration happening only during the daytime? The answer is no. It is a 24-hour process. Okay, no? So you need to note this thing down also that it is a 24-hour process. It's always happening. When the rate of transpiration will be more? So it will be more during the day. So during day, it is more as compared to night because of sunlight. Getting it now? What was the another role of transpiration? You guys will be telling this. What is the another role of transpiration? We have in fact studied this. Remember the example of sweating I gave? Yeah, Priyanka. Yeah, Abu. So it helps to cool down the body of the plant. Okay. It keeps the body of plant cool. Did you understood the second rule of transpiration or not? If not, please do let me know. Yes. Hello. Please be active in the class.
Sir.
Yeah. It is clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, yesterday I said that you have got different type of pigments found in the leaves. Like the leaves that are yellow in color, they have carotene pigment found in them. The type of pigment in them is carotene. What about the green leaves? What type of pigment is found in them? Yes. What type of pigment is found in the green leaves? Yes, Abu. Priyanka. My question is that in the green leaves, what type of pigment is found? Is it the chlorophyll? Is it the carotene or some other? Chlorophyll,
Chlorophyll.
that's my question, no? So now we will be doing an activity and we will be learning some interesting thing about chlorophyll. So you will take some green leaves from a soft plant, like you can take a spinach. Now you will be smearing these leaves on a dry white sheet of paper. Okay, na? Smearing means crushing it. Okay, na? Crushing it. So you will crush this on a sheet of paper. So once you have crushed it, you will see that it will leave a green mark on the paper. So that green mark is nothing but what? It's the chlorophyll pigment. So in this manner, you can study about chlorophyll also, right now. And in fact, you can take this smeared leaves, you can take a tiny sample of it, you can prepare a slide of it, and you can view it under the microscope and you can study its structure as well. Anyways, now you will be taking some green leaves from some soft plants Okay, you take some green leaves from some soft plant. Again, you can take let's say we have taken tulsi in this case. Now you will soak them in water. Okay, next what you will be doing, you will soak them in water. Now keep them in water for almost a day. For the entire day, keep it in water. Now what you will find out after some time, you will observe that the color of the water starts to change. Huh? Or will it not change? What will you observe? Suppose you take some spinach leaves and you put, or tulsi leaves, you put in the water for almost a day. You will observe that the color of the water does not changes. The color of the water, it remains colorless. It remains as it was before. So what you find out that chlorophyll found in the green leaves, it is not soluble in water. Getting it what I'm trying to say? Until and unless you crush it or you grind it and then mix in water. Am I clear to both of you?
Yes, sir.
So important point about the chlorophyll is that chlorophyll is not soluble in water. Now, what about some other liquids? Like you have some liquids like alcohol. Huh? So in that you will find out that chlorophyll is actually soluble in alcohol. So now let's take some green leaves and then boil them in water for about 3 to 5 minutes. So once you have boiled the green leaves, now transfer these boiled leaves to another bowl in which you have placed some alcohol. You can take now spirit also. Perfumes, you can take some perfumes which consist of alcohol in it. In order to do the activity, you can take some perfumes which consist of alcohol in it. So once you have boiled the leaves for 3 to 5 minutes, you will be putting those leaves in this in this spirit. Okay, na? Now after some time, what you sorry, you will observe that the color of the spirit, what you will observe that once you take the leaves out of it, now it will leave its color into this spirit. So chlorophyll starts to come out from the cells of the leaves into this spirit. Getting it? So thereby you will find out the color of this spirit starts turning light green in color, pale green in color. So from this we understood that chlorophyll is actually soluble in alcohol, but it isn't soluble in water. Is it clear? So another important point we have learned that chlorophyll is soluble in alcohol. Any confusions in it?
No, sir.
Okay. Priyanka explained to us what we did in the second case. How did we prove that chlorophyll is soluble in alcohol? In order to do that, what you will be doing?
Sir, we took a spirit
Hmm?
and we
Okay.
leave
And then we leave it, or will we be boiling the leaves now first in water?
it, boil
Hmm.
it and leave it in
Okay.
alcohol or perfumes.
Hmm.
And the
Sir,
um,
we first wash it with cold water.
First of all, we have to wash it with water and we have to then boil it in water for a few minutes.
Then you have to boil it in alcohol.
Not necessarily. You can just right after you have boiled it in the water now. So you will take it out from the water and you can then dip it into the alcohol. That will also work. Okay, now getting it. Continue, Priyanka.
sir, and slowly the chlorophyll
Hmm.
will come out.
Will start to come out. Okay, no? So that is the important thing about it. You guys answer this question. I suppose I have told this thing in the class or not. Okay. Anyways, if you guys need know this, answer this, or if not, I will be telling. How many essential nutrients does a plant require? Yes. Any idea? See, in total, there are 17 essential nutrients that are required by the plants. Just to name some of them are as follows. You have nitrogen, you have phosphorus, you have potassium, you have calcium, you have magnesium, you have manganese, you have iron, boron is there, molybdenum is there. So these are some, just to name some of the important nutrients that are required by a plant. Just like our body requires different type of nutrients, now carbohydrates, proteins, etc. So plants
Yeah.
also requires these in order to perform different functions. Every one of them have got different functions to perform, right? You can see, for example, manganese. It is necessary for the process of photosynthesis. Okay, na? Next question, I suppose both of you can answer.
Yes, sir.
What is it? What's the answer?
Sir, autotrophs.
Autotrophs. Is that correct, Abu? Another thing, you guys tell me, the carbohydrate that is produced in the leaves during the process of photosynthesis, it is stored in which form? The carbohydrate that is produced in the process of photosynthesis, it is immediately converted into which form? Anyone of you who can recall this? In fact, we have studied this in the previous class as well. This carbohydrate is immediately converted into which form? Anyone? Guys, I did told you guys that it is stored in the form of starch now. Okay. So kindly note this thing in your copy, in your notebook, in your text, in your copies, that carbohydrate that is formed during the process of photosynthesis, it is stored in the form of starch. Okay. Now, so we are done with the heterotrophic organisms. We have discussed about the different type of heterotrophic organisms. So if you guys have any questions related to it, please do ask me, or we'll be doing some questions and then we'll be proceeding further. Yes. Any questions? Question number, this question number 1 here. Abu, you answer this question, and Priyanka, you will be answering the second question.
B.
That is B, very good. Yes, Priyanka, question number 2. Abu, you also look at question number 2. But Priyanka, you have to answer it first.
Sir.
Hmm.
Number 1.
Option number A.
Oh, okay, sir.
You have to look at these options here, no?
1 month, sir.
Option number A, you are saying.
Can I see, sir?
Mm-hmm. There can be actually, if you were to see here, there has to be one more in the, there needs to be a slight change in the question. Okay, now.
Okay, sir.
So don't look at this, just tell me how many statements are correct.
Sir, number 1.
Okay.
and fourth.
Fourth. Okay. Correct. So these are the required options. Okay, now
Yes, sir.
that is correct. So we are done with the autotrophic organisms. The first part of the chapter we have covered that thing. Okay. Do tell me, where does the plant get the energy to do the process of photosynthesis? Yes. Where does the plant get energy to carry out the process of photosynthesis? Obviously from the sunlight, no? They take the light energy from the sunlight. Hmm? That's how they are able to carry out the process of photosynthesis. Now plants as the ultimate source of food on earth. Of food on earth. Why do we say that plants are the ultimate source of food on earth? Because no matter what type of organisms you have on earth, all of them depend upon plants. So you see that from the sun, plants will be taking the solar energy, namely solar energy is taken from the sun. It is being taken by the green plants, and green plants are basically what they are, the producers on earth, producers of all the food. Then the green plants are being eaten by the herbivores. They're also being eaten by the omnivores as well. And then you see that both the herbivores and omnivores, they are being eaten by the carnivores. And what we find out that all these three are later on, when they die, all of them are decomposed by decomposers. On death, their body decays and they are being decomposed by the decomposers. So that basically this chart here basically shows you that plants are the ultimate source of food on earth. If I were to ask what is the ultimate source of energy, so ultimate source of energy is sun. Getting it now? So hope it is clear to all of you. Now what about those plants that do not have chlorophyll in them? How do they live? How do they survive? So that's what we are going to study about. So we have seen that plants can be autotrophic and plants. Now we are going to see that plants can be heterotrophic as well. Getting it? No? So in the heterotrophic mode of nutrition, there are several modes of nutrition which we'll be studying. Also, Abu, have you got your syllabus for class 7th? Have you got the syllabus?
Sir, it is there in textbook.
Okay. Also, has there been any deduction in the topics for you?
Sir, I don't.
You don't know. Okay, okay. So in the some of the plants that are heterotrophic in nature, in this you will be studying about some of the plants that are parasitic in nature, some of the plants that are saprophytic in nature. Yes. And then you have some which are insectivorous as well, while some of them are following a symbiotic life as well. So we'll be studying about symbiosis also. Also, have you guys started making notes or not? You guys have started making notes of the chapters or not? If not, start preparing your notes. Okay, now. So let's have a look at this image. Who will tell me? Have you guys seen these images before? Abu, have you seen these images before? Priyanka?
Yes.
Okay. So can you name some of them? What are the names of these plants that you're seeing here?
Pitcher plant and Venus flat.
Venus flytrap. Very good, very good. So all of them are heterotrophic in nature, huh? All of all of them are heterotrophic in nature, but are they completely heterotrophic? So let's understand that. So you will find out that these plants are here that you see in this image. These are called as the insectivorous plants. So what are the insectivorous plants now? There are some plants which can trap insects and digest them for their nutrition. These plants are green in color. These plants are green in color, but they lack nitrogen elements in them. Now, in order to overcome this problem, these plants will be eating the insects. So hence they are called as insectivorous plants or carnivorous plants also. Now, if you were to look at their leaves, now particular leaves of the pitcher plant or the Venus flytrap, you will find out. Look at the leaf of this Venus flytrap. It is actually cut from here. Let me complete the image. It's like this. So, sorry. So what you will, if you were to look at the leaf of this Venus flytrap, of this pitcher plant here, so you will find out that they have got a very specialized leaves. And if you were to look at the apex of this leaves, it forms a lid. It forms a lid-like structure that can open and close the mouth of this pitcher. Let me tell you, by the way, that this is called as pitcher. This represents the shape of a pitcher. Okay, now? And this is the leaf of the pitcher plant. So this can open and it can close. So it acts like a lid. You guys understand what is a lid? LID. If you guys don't know the meaning of some terms or some terminologies, please do stop me there. Huh? Just nodding that I have understood is not good. Okay, na? You need to really understand the concepts. So lid, it's basically the top part of a box or a container or a pot. So it acts as a lid to this pitcher plant. So it can close and it can open. If you were to look at the inside structure of this pitcher plant, what you find out that there are so many tiny hairs inside this pitcher plant. Okay, na? So many tiny hairs are there in it, inside it. Like this. And it secretes a very secretes a very sticky substance, just mucus. It also secretes some digestive juices as well. Digestive juices are also secreted by the insides of this pitcher. Now what happens if some insects accidentally falls? Also, first of all, no, these digestive juices and the mucus inside that is being secreted by the inner lining of this pitcher plant, it has got a very sweet smell. It has got a very sweet smell. So thereby it attracts the insects. Okay, no? So insects will be attracted towards it. So now the insect will be sitting on this pitcher plant. So what happens once they sit on the pitcher plant, their legs get entangled into the hair of the pitcher plant. It gets sticking to this gummy substance secreted by the pitcher plant. Hence, they are trapped, and slowly the leaves will be acting like a lid, and hence this leaf closes down. It closes down, and there's no chance for this insect to come out of this pitcher, and hence now the plant will be secreting the digestive juices, and that will slowly digest the body of this insect. Getting it? So that is the thing about it. There are some terminologies related to the structure of this pitcher plant, which you guys, if you want, you can know. That is not very much important, but still, if you want to know, this part is called as pitcher cup. That is called as pitcher cup. This part of the pitcher, that is called as pitcher ribs. These are called as pitcher ribs. Okay, now if you guys have any doubts in it, please do let me know. Priyanka and Abu, you guys understood this? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now. So the reason why these are feeding on the insects is that all of our body consists of nitrogen in it. Compounds of nitrogen are found in our body as well. Huh? Any living organisms that you see walking on earth or basically any plants as well, their body consists of nitrogen. Okay. So nitrogen is a very essential component. So plants also need them. Did I not told you moments ago that plants require different type of essential nutrients and nitrogen is one of them. But the thing is that plants like pitcher plant, the soil in which they are growing, so the soil lacks nitrogen. So the environment in which they are growing, it's a marshy environment, marshy condition is there. MARSHY. Marshy conditions are there. So thereby soil lacks in nitrogen. Hence, the only way how plants can get nitrogen is by feeding on the insects. Okay, now. So hope it is clear to both of you. Then similarly, you have this Venus flytrap also. It also works in a very similar fashion as this works. So it has got claws like structure you can see here. The leaves basically closes onto the insect as soon as insects uh, goes inside the leaves. Okay. Are there any questions related to it? Now, you guys tell me that this fisher plant that you are seeing here, it looks green in color now, obviously. So it actually consists of chlorophyll. It can perform photosynthesis. It can perform photosynthesis to produce glucose. But the reason, but because they are feeding on an insect to obtain some nutrition from it, to mainly obtain nitrogen from it, that's why we have put them under the category of heterotrophic plants right now. So this is statement that the heading slight change needs to be done in this heading: nutrition in plants that do not contain chlorophyll. Rather than that, no, simply consider this topic only: heterotrophic plants. So you have the example of this very unique plant that although it consists of chlorophyll, although it can perform photosynthesis, but to obtain nitrogen, it depends upon insects and feeds on them. So what we can say that it is not completely heterotrophic in nature, but we can say it is semi-heterotrophic in nature. Are you guys getting it what I'm trying to say? Yes, Abu and Priyanka, you guys getting what I'm trying to say? Then talking about Rafflesia. Rafflesia, there are some facts about it that they are said to be the biggest flowers in the world. They can be several meters wide. Okay. And they give a very bad smell. It smells like rotting meat. It smells as if it's a rotting meat. Getting it? Rafflesia is also called as a dead plant because it, as I said, it smells like dead flesh. It smells like rotting meat. So that was Fisher plant, which we were discussing. And let's talk some important thing about the Rafflesia plant. First fact about the Rafflesia is that It's the biggest flower. Another thing is that it is also called as uh, dead plant. The reason being that it smells like dead flesh. About if you remember, we have studied about the Rafflesia in the previous class. What were the different things we studied about Rafflesia? Yes. Also, you guys know that Rafflesia is not uh, a flower that can grow everywhere. Getting it? Almost 40 or 42 species of Rafflesia are found there in the world, and they are put in the category of endangered species. Okay, now. So they are put under the category of endangered species. So it is being said that it is now under the danger of extinction. So if the scientists do not work upon it, if their species are not safe, so in near 1 decade or in few years, their species might be extinct from Earth. Okay, no? So it is actually a critically endangered species. Do you guys know what do you mean by endangered species? Yes, Priyanka and Abu, what do you mean by endangered species, by the way? Hello. Guys, am I audible and visible in the class or not? Please to let me know. Yes. Please do confirm whether I'm audible to both of you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. So what do you guys understand by endangered species?
Extremely dangerous.
Extremely dangerous? No, no, no. Endangered species are those species whose population is decreasing day by day. Their population is decreasing. They are found only in few numbers in the world. Okay, now. So if they are not protected, so in the nearby future, their species will be no more on Earth. Getting it? So you have so many species of animals and plants that now have gone extinct. They are no longer found anywhere on Earth. For example, you have got platypus, black-billed platypus. It was a mammal. It was a mammal that is now extinct. So what generally we know about mammals that mammals give birth to live babies. But this was a unique mammal that gave birth to that gave eggs and not babies. But still we are studying it as mammals. So this is now extinct. So similarly, Rafflesia can also go extinct. Okay, now the question is that Rafflesia plant is said to have several medicinal powers as well. Some it is usually in Asia, some people consider that drinking a Rafflesia tea after childbirth, it can um, it can help the mother very much. I'm telling that some people believe that it can have some it has some medicinal powers. So after a child is born, if the tea made of Rafflesia leaves is given to the mother, it can help the mother in recovery faster. Getting it, now, guys? I was saying about its width. So it can grow up to 3 feet wide, and it can weigh almost around 15 to 16 pounds. Right now, you guys tell me that this Rafflesia that we are studying here, it should know it. We're talking about its nature. Does it feed on insects? Yes. It is sometimes consider insectivores, but generally what we see that it is actually a parasitic plant in nature. So there's a doubt regarding Rafflesia whether it is parasitic or whether it is insectivorous. But normally it is seen that it is parasitic in nature. So we will mainly study about Rafflesia under the parasitic plants category. So hope these points are clear. If you guys have doubts in it, please let me know. Yes, Priyanka and Abu.
No, sir.
Okay, now. So the main examples of this insectivorous plants which we have studied so far are these. Namely, the first one would be quoting an example of is the Venus flytrap. Then you have got the pitcher plant. You can have one more example. You can have example of this one more plant. I think its name is bladderwort is there. Bladderwort is also there. I forgot to add the image of this in the slide. In the next class, I will be showing you the image of this bladderwort. Okay, now. So this also feeds on insects. Getting it? So answer the question. Read the question and what is the answer to the question? Answer it. Yes, Abu and Priyanka, what is the answer to the given question?
Sir, is it?
Mhm. First option is that pitcher plant traps insects because it is a heterotroph, grows in soil which lacks nitrogen, does not have chlorophyll, has a digestive system like human beings. So which one of them is the most appropriate answer? So if you guys remember, I did told that it grows in a soil that lacks in nitrogen now. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So that is the reason why it traps insects because it grows in soil which is lacking in nitrogen. Now you have got plants that look like this. Look at the bushy, this yellow plants that are growing on another plant. So this is the cascator plant. It is also called as amarbale. So this plant can be seen growing over other green plants. This plant can be seen growing over other green plants. So why is it so? Just like you see that you have some organisms like leech, huh, that sucks the blood from the body of the animal or from the body of the persons or from the humans as well. So it cannot prepare its own food. That's why it sucks the blood of different animals. Similarly, you have several other examples also that are parasitic in nature. Hmm. So in the plant world also, we have an example of a plant called as cascata that cannot prepare its own food. So thereby it depends on other plants to obtain nutrition. Okay, now. So talking about this plant here now, this is the cascata plant. Remember the example of this one. Any doubts in it? It's a very simple topic, by the way. Yes, is it clear to both of you?
Yes.
Hmm. Now, in this one, the main plant is being harmed because the nutrition that is being prepared by the main plant, it is basically being snatched by this parasite. And the main plant over which this parasite grows, it is called as host. Right? Suppose this leech is sitting on the body of this person. So this leech is a parasite and this person from whom this leech is obtaining nutrition becomes the host. Okay, now. So in this case, this green plant is the host for this amar bale plant. So parasitic plant is one that basically leaves it. Normally it leaves outside the other organisms, other plants normally. Okay, now, and they are normally non-green. Like you can see here, this is yellow in color. So it obtains the nutrition from this host plant, right? And you have this example of amarbil, also called as cascata. So it is basically taking the ready-made food from the host through a special type of roots found in them. So if you were to look at the structure of this amarbil, I don't know if it is clearly visible here in the image, but just look where I'm pointing. Can you guys look at the dot-like structures? Huh? Tiny bulb-like structures. Can you guys notice it?
Yes, sir.
You guys can see there are some tiny dot-like, bulb-like structures found on this amar bale. So these are actually a special type of roots found in them, which are called as suckling roots. What are these called as? Suckling roots. So amar bale, that is cascata, has a special roots called as suckling roots. So these suckling roots, now it will be penetrating into the host plant, meaning that it inserts into the stem of the host plant. So this is the stem of the host plant, let's say, and this is the cascata plant. Getting it? This is the cascata plant. So its roots will start to insert into the stem or different other body parts of the host plant. And now these roots will be will start to suck the different nutrients from the main plant. So suckling, let's draw some bulb-like structures. Suckling roots taking nutrients from host plant. So is it clear to both of you? Hope it is clear to both of you. Have a look at the image of this one here. This is another image of pitcher plant. That gives a better view of the pitcher plant actually. You can look at the different structure of this one. Look at this. This is the mouth. This is the pitcher. And this is a stem, that it's the petiole to which this is actually attached. Right now. And then you can have different species of pitcher plant also. Right now, these are two different species of pitcher plant because their leaves are having different shapes. Okay, now. Anyways, so we were studying about the parasitic heterotrophic plants. Next, we have got saprotrophic plants also. So saprotrophic plants are what? You must have seen that bread after some time, after it expires, or if it were to be left open in the air, it will turn greenish bluish in color. So what is this basically? So basically what happens now? There are some special mode of nutrition in which organisms, they take their food from the dead and decaying matter. So this is basically decaying, and a special type of saprotrophic plant called as fungus obtains nutrition by eating this dead and decaying by this decaying substance. You have some other examples of saprotrophic organisms as well. Okay, no? Like you have yeast also. So just like you have got decomposers, you have studied about decomposers now. Bacterias are there, different type of bacterias. So you have got different type of worms. Normally maggots are there. Maggots grows on any dead organism. So you will find out like if a bird, if a dead body of a bird is lying somewhere, so after some time, what happens after a day or two, maggots starts to grow in their body. The white worms that looks very disgusting. So white worms starts to grow in their body. Several microorganisms will start to grow and will start to decay it. But those are the decomposers. Right now we are talking about saprotrophic plants. So even in the plant kingdom also we find that there are some plants that obtains their nutrients from the dead and decaying matter. So hence they are called as saprotrophic plants. Like you have example of fungus and yeast. So this will be studying in more detail in the next class. Okay, now. So if you guys have any doubts or any questions, please do let me know. Yes, Abu and Priyanka, any questions?
Also,
Okay. Also, you guys made notes of this chapter so far? Whatever we have studied, have you guys made any notes?
I have written nutrition, photosynthesis,
Okay,
autotroph,
okay, okay. That's
and
good.
process of photosynthesis, raw material, site, and photosynthesis, um, yellow leaves and red leaves. Till that I have written.
Very good, very good. What about you, Abu? Hmm? Now I'm saying a statement. You guys have to answer what is the answer to this statement. Abu, you will also be making the notes of the chapter if you haven't. Okay. So name a parasitic plant with yellow and thin stems. That has got yellow thin stems.
Pitcher plant.
No, I'm asking about a parasitic plant. Pitcher plant is an insectivorous plant now. So name a parasitic plant which has yellow stems, which is slender, meaning which is thin, and which is weak actually. So what is the name of that parasitic plant? I have given the hint now. It's having a yellow stem. Yes. Okay, I'm giving you some options. Is it the is it cascata? Is it Rafflesia? What is it? Moments ago we have seen its image as well, huh? This
Yes,
thing
sir.
I'm talking about, no? Cascata,
Yes.
also called as Amarbil. Okay. Okay. Now you guys tell me, there's a plant now that has got both autotrophic and both heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Can you think of such a plant that has got both autotrophic and heterotrophic mode of nutrition? Autotrophs are those plants and some bacteria also that have got chlorophyll in them and that can do the process of photosynthesis. So they are autotrophic. But this plant we were studying it under the heterotrophic category also because it eats insects and derives its nutrition from insect as well. So this pitcher plant is both autotrophic and heterotrophic in nature. Getting it?
Okay, sir.
So this is a very important point about pitcher plant. Make sure you note this down in your copy. It's both autotrophic and heterotrophic. Okay, so that's it for today. If you guys have any doubts, do let me know. Okay then.